Sun setting on the first Friday of October as it looks to be a beautiful night for week 7 of the high school football season. We are live at Glencliff High School, the home of the Colts and the home of our game of the week. I'm Jill Jelnick. Welcome into Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. We're officially over halfway through the high school football regular season, which means teams are trying to lock down their spot in the region standings and also start their push for the postseason, and that includes these two schools behind me for our game of the week, Glencliff Colts and the Centennial Cougars. I'll have more on that game in just a bit, but first let's start with some action earlier in the week because we had a couple big games, big region matchups on Thursday and also Monday night. A big Region 6 5A showdown last night between the Hillsboro Burros and the Nolensville Knights. Winner moves into first place. Knights marching out to a quick lead. Quarterback Jack Dever finds wide receiver Landon Smotherman, who makes a great catch. He would be marked just short of the end zone, but the Knights able to cash it in. Dever fakes the handoff, storms into the end zone for the first points of the game. Nolensville up 7-0. Skip to the second half. Knights marching again. This time Dever to Oliver Bender back in the end zone for the 6-yard touchdown. Nolensville would go on to shut out the Burros, win it 17-0. And how about some Monday night lights? Hurricane Helene pushed the Nashville Christian and Grace Christian game back, and the Eagles and Lions went head-to-head on Monday night. Eagles on the attack. Nashville Christian quarterback and Georgia commit Jared Curtis doesn't like what he sees, keeps for himself and takes off down the sideline, races into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. Nashville Christian up 7-0. Second quarter, Eagles ball again. This time Curtis rolling right, looks to the end zone and puts it perfectly into the hands of Caden Grigsby. Grigsby able to come down with the catch and the touchdown for Nashville Christian as the Eagles fly away with it 49-3. Features two 5A Region 6 5A teams, the Centennial Cougars and the Glencliff Colts. Now, the Centennial Cougars are in year 2 under head coach Jamal Stewart, who came over from East Nashville just last year, and Coach Stewart didn't waste any time getting started with his new team. Last year, the Centennial Cougars finished second in that tough region, Region 6 5A, and then they also made an impressive postseason run, making it all the way to the 5A state quarterfinals before falling to the Page Patriots. They lost a lot of key players last season at graduation, but Centennial this year, the goal remains the same. That's what Coach Stewart tells me. Get to game 15. That's their motto. Get to that game 15 in the Blue Cross Bowl. That's the championship game, and Coach Stewart reiterates that message every time they step on the field, including in their conditioning of practice.
Every time we're undisciplined, we have to do 15 up downs because we want that number of 15 embedded in our minds. We want to get to that 15th game, and that's just something that we're all about.
15 games is the goal. I mean, that's everyone's goal, but we got to try to work hard and focus to get to that. And it takes a special team, it takes a special group, and it takes a lot of work. You don't just get to walk into the Blue Cross Bowl. So they understand what we're working for and what we're trying to get to. It's just, like I said, young guys got to step up.
Cougars currently 4-2 overall, 1-1 in region play with that lone loss coming against Nolensville last week. They hope to improve to 2-1 in region play with a win tonight over Glencliff. I'll have much more on our game of the week coming up later in the show, but first let's go ahead and switch gears, check out another big game tonight for week 7 of the high school football season. The Brentwood Bruins hosting the Franklin Admirals. For more on this game, let's bring in the other member of our FFL crew, Caitlin Miller, who joins us now live from Brentwood High School. And Caitlin, I know this is a big showdown, both of these teams with great starts to the season, and this one's a big one.
Jill, it's a beautiful night for some high school football. We're here at Brentwood High School this week for the biggest and oldest rivalry in football in Williamson County. Now, the number 7 ranked Brentwood Bruins, who are 5-1 this season, are hosting the Franklin Admirals, who are 4-2. Now, this is a huge win for region standings and to see who could potentially clinch that first home game for the playoffs. Now, the Bruins have controlled the rivalry with 8 consecutive wins. The last time Admirals won in the series was back in 2016. But if there's any time to stir things up, it could be now. Franklin has a new head coach this season, Josh Atkins, who's turning this program around. Coach Atkins says his seniors have grit. Some of them have been on the team when they lost 22 straight games, and now this season they're a winning team, so they're coming out all fiery and ready to go. Coach Atkins commends his team for fighting to get better each day despite their record.
I'm glad for these seniors and what they've had to overcome. So it's just I tell my guys, like, Hollywood can't write a better script, from where you've overcame where you are now. It's like we control our destinies, and and the fate is in our hand. We just have to, once again, do the little things right, and everything will take care of itself.
Right now, I think the winner of this is pretty much assured of a home playoff game and a chance to keep playing for a region championship. And, both of those were our goals going into this year, is host a playoff game, be a region championship, or be a region champion and make a playoff run. So the first step to that is getting a big win tonight versus Franklin.
Coach Clint Finch with Brentwood says that he's really proud of the younger guys stepping up this year after losing a lot of their seniors. Now the game kicks off behind me in just a few minutes. It starts here at 7, but coming up later in the show, we hear from the Franklin starting quarterback about his fairy tale story about how they lost 22 consecutive games, and now they're coming to be a winning team. Reporting live from Brentwood High School, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
We are just getting started here on Football Frenzy Live. Coming up after the break, we'll check back in on the Glencliff Colts. Welcome back to Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. Beautiful night here at Glencliff High School, the home of our game of the week, as the Colts are getting ready to take on the Centennial Cougars. Now, a lot of first-year head coaches here in Middle Tennessee this season, and that includes Glencliff's first-year head coach, C.J. Scott. Scott is very familiar with the Colts program. Not only did he play for Glencliff back when he was in high school, but he was also the 1999 Mr. Football winner, so he knows a thing or two when it comes to success on the football field. Well, Scott told me earlier this week just how special it is for him to be back at his alma mater and coaching the Colts, but he also told me this first year has been an uphill battle. It's been a little bit of a challenge trying to get this program back on track, because the last time that the Colts have had a winning season was back in 2011. Now, he believes in this special group of kids. He has a veteran leadership with several seniors on the team, and he says they're starting to build that foundation that he hopes will be stable for years to come.
I think we're going in the right direction from what I'm looking at now. I know the record doesn't display how everything going, but I am 11 seniors. I'm sophomore heavy, so and I got a couple of freshmen that's doing an outstanding job. So my building is where I wanted to be at. They come to work, they hungry, they're learning, understanding the game better. So, man, I'm just happy, and it's a pleasure to be back at home and not try to, like, it's different for me because I went to school here. So that's why it means more to me.
Glencliff picked up their first win of the season in week 2 against Republic. They just need one more to equal their win total from last year. Now, coming up next, we're going to go back out to Williamson County, checking in on that big Welcome back to Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. We are inching closer and closer to our game of the week between the Centennial Cougars and the Glencliff Colts. We already previewed that big region showdown, but there are plenty other region matchups going down tonight, including one in Williamson County between Brentwood High School and the Franklin Admirals. For more on that game, let's go ahead and bring in our other member of our FFL team, Caitlin Miller, joining us now live from Brentwood High School. And Caitlin, I believe you have a special story on one of the players in this big matchup tonight.
Yes, well, we are at the Brentwood-Franklin rivalry game tonight. It's about to kick off any minute right behind me, but we can't let you go without telling you this awesome fairy tale story with the Franklin football team. Now, they are 4-2 this season, but they had to endure 22 straight losses as a team and program. Imagine going through that as a high school athlete. We spoke with senior Brewer Wilson, the starting quarterback for the Admirals, for the 3rd season in a row. Wilson says it was tough to constantly lose all the time and to still try to fight through it and stay together as a team. Wilson says they were able to do it, and now he says with their new head coach Josh Atkins this season, they're working on becoming more physically and mentally tough. So now if there's a penalty during the game, they move past it and work together as a team to keep scoring touchdowns and make good plays for the rest of the game.
It's a big change. It's a lot better being on the other side of the winning team. But we've always been with the guys. Even when we lost, we're still all together and having fun. But winning and having fun is more important, so it's been a lot better.
And when I took the job, I told him, I was like, hey, I've never lost 22 games in a row as a coach or as a player. And I told the guys, you're tougher than me because of that. Because, you know, the one thing I kept hearing from everybody is that y'all came in and y'all kept getting better and just kept working out and just trying to, you know, overcome that.
Now, at the end of last season, they got a little taste of what winning feels like, including beating the undefeated team Mount Juliet. But now the big question tonight is, can they defeat the Brentwood Bruins, who have won the last 8 consecutive games of this series? Well, I have to say, if they have any shot, I feel like it is this season. And we can't wait to see it all unfold. For now, reporting live from Brentwood High School, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Franklin and Brentwood, certainly two of the top teams in the area, and possibly even 2 teams that cracked our Fox 17 top 17. For more on this week's rankings, let's go ahead and bring in Joe Dubin, MTSU football analyst, host of 102.5 The Game, for this week's Fox 17 top 17.
Hi, Jill. Excited to be back. Week 7 of the high school football season is rolling along. Now, this was taped on Thursday before a lot of games were played on Thursday. So here's this week's Fox 17 Top 17. Number 17, Marshall County. Number 16, Pearl Cone. And those 2 teams are in the same region. Big showdown there in a few weeks. Number 15, the Upperman Bees, having a great season. Number 14, Westmoreland, playing some pretty good football out on the country. Number 13, Nashville Christian. Jeff Brothers squad, once again in contention and having a great year. Number 12, East Nashville. Number 11, head down to Murfreesboro. The Riverdale Warriors, still playing strong football. Number 10, head out to the country. East Robertson rolling along. Number 9, FRA. What a job Justin Geisinger's done over there on Franklin Road. Number 8, Ingle Martin and CPA. They're always going to be in the top 10. Number 7, a team that I love to watch so much, the Beach Buccaneers. Coach Anthony Crabtree has once again a great program and a great team, and they love to run the football, and I love to watch them run the football. Number 6, the Green Hill Hawks. Coach Josh Crouch has that football team rolling. Big showdown in a few weeks against Mount Juliet. Number 5, Innsworth. Yeah, the Hasselback brothers doing a great job. The best brother combo since the Hager twins. Good job for Matt and Tim over at Innsworth. Number 4, the Page Patriots. Big game tonight versus James Lawson. They haven't given up a single point all year long. Number 3 is Mount Juliet. Number 2 is Ravenwood. And still number 1, they've been all year long, the Oakland Patriots. Jill, that's our Fox 17 Top 17.
Time now for our FFL forecast as the sun is starting to set here at Glencliff High School. Looks to be a picture-perfect night. For more on our forecast, let's bring in our chief meteorologist, Katie Morgan, joining us now from the studio. And Katie, not going to lie, especially coming after last week, it's looking pretty good tonight.
Yeah, exactly right, Jill. Picture perfect is a great word here. The sunset looking gorgeous this evening in downtown Nashville, and area-wide, we're going to be looking good for tonight. Now, temperatures still warm, sitting in the low 80s here in Nashville, upper 70s outside of city centers, and we'll be looking at a mild night ahead, perfect for football this evening. Radar sweep is doing a clean sweep for us. This is what we call ground clutter right here. So with a clear sky, we are not going to be concerned with any rain, not only here in Middle Tennessee, but across a lot of real estate this evening. The exception being south in the Gulf of Mexico along the coast there, seeing a few showers showing up on radar. But we've got a pretty dry pattern for the next several days. Now, we take a look at our forecast for tonight. Temperatures at kickoff here will be in those upper 70s to around 80 degrees, low 70s as we head towards 9, and then looking at 69 or so for the evening hours with mainly clear skies. As we look ahead to the weekend, it is looking warm for one and a little muggy, kind of like what we're having this evening here. So we'll stay in the muggy category for Saturday and Sunday. As we head into next week, feeling much more pleasant, a little more fall-like, if you will, with some crisp mornings and then nice afternoons. A lot of football going on this weekend. We've got some great matchups, so let's take a look. UT's headed to Arkansas. Kickoff at 6:30, but still quite warm in Arkansas at 6:30 in the evening. Temperature around 87. Vandy at home taking on Alabama. Should be a good game. We're looking at lots of sunshine and temperatures in those mid-80s. Mid-80s for TSU as they travel to St. Charles, Missouri. At Lindenwood, we'll see lots of sunshine in our mainly sunny sky. Sunshine for Tennessee Tech. They are at home in Cookeville as they take on SC State with temperatures right around 80 degrees. So we are looking good all over the map this evening and for tomorrow for football. As far as the next few days go, I mentioned that we are looking at some showers in the Gulf of Mexico. We will stay dry, so our eye will be drawn south as an area of low pressure here off the coast of Mexico now has a higher chance of developing into our next tropical system. It's been in question and sort of up in the air for the last several days, but it is looking like now that we could have our next named system, and this one at the moment has its sights set on Florida. Regardless if it is named, what we are going to see out of this is a lot of moisture coming in and a lot of rainfall for Florida over the next several days. This is Sunday evening, and then as we head into early next week, again, we're staying dry at home. The rain stays south with the stationary boundary sort of cutting off where all those showers are. The result will be a very wet go of it for the week ahead in Florida. I mention this just because if you are planning to go to Florida for fall break, it is going to be quite rainy, it looks like. Back here at home, it is going to be the opposite. We're looking at sunshine and again, cooler conditions after being in the upper 80s for the weekend, down to the mid 70s as we head towards next week. Those overnight lows starting to feel a little more fall-like as well, with temperatures in those low 50s, even a few upper 40s on the map, especially for the middle of next week. We'll have much more for you coming up after the break.
Gotta be Wendy's.
Fox College Football Friday and Big Noon Saturday kick off a whole new era of college football.
I cannot wait for this game.
With new matchups, historic rivalries, and brand new conference clashes.
Listen to this crowd come alive.
The Big 10,
whoa,
Big 12,
unbelievable,
and Mountain West are hitting Friday and Saturday harder than ever.
Monstrous hit.
This is the season we've all been waiting for. College football on Fox.
Welcome back to Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. We are just minutes away from kickoff from our game of the week between the Glencliff Colts and the Centennial Cougars. Now, there were some other matchups earlier this week, week 7. It was fall break, but some schools were able to get some action in. Oakland defeating Siegel 42-7. Rockville winning over Coffee County 21-7. Mount Juliet beats Antioch 26-8. Also, a close one at East Nashville. Smyrna beating the Eagles 36-33. Pearl Column beating Whites Creek 44-6. Independence beating John Overton. And a couple of games in action tonight. Franklin at Brentwood, we previewed that one. Page at Lawson. Rossview at Dickson County. FRA at Davidson County. Now, before we say goodbye, we have to first introduce our Fox 17 Fantastic Fans. We have with us the Glencliff Colts cheerleaders. The cheer team got out here. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys got out here, what, a couple hours ago? You have been out here cheering on the team, getting everything ready, and I have to imagine a lot of excitement for this game tonight. Yeah, let's go, Glencliff! That will do it for us on Football Frenzy Live. We'll see you next Friday.